All right, guys, here we go. Back on the dirt bike. Eugene MX, formerly known as Territorial. Maybe it's still known as that. I don't really know. First time out here riding with my buddy Brad. First session for me. First bit of track time. Track looks pretty good. I really like the look of this dirt. Reminds me of that stuff you see back east, that red clay looking stuff. Sounds like from the people I talked to that it has the potential to be very slippery when wet. But today was awesome. I think I lucked out. You see they did water the track. The track seems to be absorbing the water well. This is, I think, the second session. I didn't show up till a little after 10. They were running 10 to 3 today, so I missed the first session, which is usually okay because you let everybody else deal with all the muddy, watery stuff. You'll see on this first lap, and really this whole first session, I'm doing nothing. There's really not a lot going on here. I jumped in here with the slow big bike class, which is typically where I belong, unless they're going to run a 40 plus class. I didn't realize they were running a 40 plus class, so we jumped into the slow big bike class, and along with everybody else. So there's a lot of bikes on the track. Track's pretty big, but there's a lot of people out here. And that makes it hard for me personally to kind of adjust to a track and start learning the jumps and things, because I like a little bit of space so that if I get wild or make a mistake, I don't hurt anybody else. So yeah, just kind of trying to get a feel for it as best as I can, looking for a little gap. Of course, this being the first lap, I'm not really jumping anything on the first lap. I generally take a roll lap. Even on tracks I know I tend to do that. I just want to make sure that, you don't know what changes they've made, or if they've steepened up some of the jump lips or lengthened a jump or whatever. So it's always a good idea on your first lap or two to just kind of roll it. Of course, riding the 24 KX450. I've just gotten to where I really enjoy this bike. It just doesn't tire me out like all those fast 450s. I think we're up to about 19 hours on this bike, and it's time for another oil change for sure. You can see the bases of the jumps aren't real steep, and they're not super big. I think the track overall is pretty safe, which helps me get comfortable quickly. There's certainly some bigger jumps out here if that's what you want to do, but for the most part, I feel like the jumps are designed to be pretty safe. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling a little bit. There's always potential to get hurt on a motocross track, of course, but one thing I really noticed, even in this first session, with it being wet, there is a lot of traction in this dirt. I couldn't believe it. I haven't ridden in anything like this in a long time. If ever, honestly. I just couldn't believe, like if you look at these bikes, you're not seeing a huge roost typically coming off the back of them. I mean, there definitely some roosting, but it's all that power has been transferred to the ground and pushing it forward. So it's really a different experience. I got arm pump in this first moto, even though I wasn't going very fast. I got arm pump pretty, really like I don't normally get arm pump, so I don't know, it was different for me. Just because I was holding on so tight, trying to put the bike underneath me. And kind of because I'm a bit of a salad, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I apologize for the camera angle. I'm kind of playing with a new camera. OSMO Action 5. And so far I really like it. The camera angle isn't as low as it looks. It's just that there's a lot of elevation on this track, and it doesn't look like it. It's not like Washougal where you're going straight up and then straight down. It's not like that. It's just the track isn't as flat as it appears. So it depends on my head angle, really, is why it makes the camera angle look so low. It is a little bit low. Also, I'm running it in the standard mode instead of super wide or whatever. Because on a lot of the other stuff I've seen on people's DJI footage, their super wide is kind of tall, but it has a really extreme distortion to it, in my opinion, and it makes the handlebars look like they're super narrow. Oh, that guy almost landed on me. I thought I was going to die right there. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt myself, but I had to make a point there. That scared the hell out of me. Anyhow, that's why I'm not running Super View. I'll try it and maybe change my mind. I don't know, but right now we're running kind of the standard view, and I may go to the wide view, see if that's any better without too much distortion. And I'm sure GoPros are the same way, but I just don't notice it as much on GoPros or something. I don't know what it is. I feel like the lens on the DJI it almost has a taller field of view than the GoPro does, if that makes any sense. So it shows more height, but I don't know, it's kind of distorts. Okay, I'm done rambling because I don't really know what I'm saying at this point. Woo. But yeah, kind of running around a bunch in third gear, which typically works fine on a track that doesn't have so much traction. But with all this traction, I couldn't pull third gear here very well. I know that doesn't necessarily make sense, but I flamed out a couple of times on this moto, and decided to work on gear selection a little harder for the next one, and that worked out well. Dropping down to second, getting more pop out of the bike for some of these jumps helped me out a bunch. It's also good practice for me to figure out how to deal with all that power in the lower gear. My local track here in Medford, Central Point, White City area, Moto 541, great track, fun track, but not known for traction in my opinion. With all the wood chips they put down, it's just kind of, I feel like I'm always searching for traction out there. So this track to me was totally opposite of that. And I know this first session of riding doesn't look like I'm having a lot of fun because I'm getting past a lot and not jumping anything, but I just kind of thought I'd throw this one in. I'll probably do 2, maybe 3 videos out of this just for lack of anything else to do. And I'll show the other 2 motos, but yeah, just getting used to this different dirt. Also, I haven't ridden. Should I stall it again? I haven't ridden for about 3 weeks, so just trying to get used to riding dirt bikes again. You certainly don't forget 3 weeks, but you're definitely a little rusty. Man, I'm talking a lot during this one. Promise not to do that in the next one. A lot of guys don't want to listen to me ramble, and I don't want to listen to me ramble. But some people like it. My mom likes it. There. And yeah, I've watched quite a few videos, other people's videos on this track, and yeah, a lot of guys are going a lot faster than I am, that's for sure. So yeah, my nemesis here, the Whoops. I love that there's only 6 of them, because oh yeah, this guy, Jay Bailey, I think is his name. I follow him on Instagram. He came up, gave me a shout out. Kind of inspired me a little bit in this moto, because he's jumping stuff. I'm like, man, he's going after it. I need to pick up the pace. Yeah, he's a big sand guy. Likes to ride the dunes a lot. But yeah, big shout out to him. He came over and talked to me. It was really nice to meet you. And thanks for coming over and saying hi. It's always fun to meet new people at the track, recognize the channel or the Instagrams or whatever it may be. But yeah, man, you were killing it. Like I said, you kind of inspired me. I was like, man, maybe I can keep up with this guy a little bit and try to run with him a little bit instead of just rolling around the track. Yeah, riding good. And yeah, like I was saying about the whoops, yeah. There were only 6 of them, and that was awesome because Washougal, with the what seems like 100 whoops they have, there's just a lot of area there to make a mistake and get crossed up. There only being 6, I was a little more confident to try to do something there. And I did, by the end of the day, get a little better at it. I am not going to say I'm good at them. I'm definitely not good at them, but at least I'm a little less scared of them after the end of today than I was starting out. Of course, I watched the past guys hit them, and they were just going triple, skimming them. Finally get the finish line jump there. After almost getting landed on the last lap, I'm like, I am going to start jumping stuff. And there, like I said, there are a lot of people on the track at the same time, so normally I don't feel very comfortable jumping next to people, but this dirt is so tacky that it's kind of harder to get squirrely, in my opinion. Not to say that you can't, but when you're dealing with looser dirt conditions, you know, that back end can swing around on you going off jumps or whatever, and that freaks me out because I don't want to crash. And even more so, I don't want to knock somebody else off because I crashed. You see, I'm trying to get fancy through these loops. I'm getting her dialed. Right up there with James Stewart, I think. Getting there. But yeah, I still have a long way to go on this track. I never really did get all these back tabletops down. After that tabletop, after the loop section, I kind of used as my, okay, let go of the handlebars with the death grip that you had going through the loops because you were scared to death. And go ahead and take a little break over this tabletop. So I never really tried that first one after the loops. And I never got that double down. My buddy did. And I thought about it, but I was having so much fun, I didn't want to ruin my day by crashing on a double that doesn't look that hard, but they're kind of steep. Mainly the landing is pretty steep, but that makes me a little nervous because you gotta get that right. And I got no guarantees that I'm gonna do it right. This tabletop always fooled me because I always thought that it was going to be the big jump that I didn't want to jump. So it took me a while to learn the track and learn all the jumps. There's my buddy Brad lapping me. That's pretty awesome. I'm just saying it's because I stalled my bike a bunch of times. Otherwise, he would have never caught me. Oh man, he's riding good. He's been spending a lot of time on the motor tracks. It shows, man. The guy's riding good. Pumped for him. We've been riding dirt bikes a long time together, and it's just fun to get back out there and keep doing it. Well into our old age. Anyhow, I talked through this whole video. I apologize for that. But thanks for watching. Until the next one, I'm out.